All right, thank you, Charlie. So just because the recording just started, I'm going to reiterate what I just said, also for anybody else who just joined. My name's Alyssa. I am the campus manager at 4Geeks Academy. 4Geeks Academy is offering this applied AI course in partnership with Miami-Dade College. 4Geeks has been offering courses through Miami-Dade College for over 5 years now. We also have a full stack web development course and a data science course. But you guys are in our applied AI course, so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to be going over the getting started info, kind of that, normal procedure, first day of class, what you need to know kind of information. And then I'll be passing it over to Charlie, who is your lead instructor. I'm going to share my screen now with our intro PowerPoint. Oops, I thought it was already presenting. Okay. Sorry, it's still loading for me. Are you seeing the presentation, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, welcome to 4Geeks. This is the beginning of a really exciting journey. 4Geeks has been offering courses since 2015, so about 10 years now. We're in 2025 now. We've graduated more than 4,000 students worldwide. We have campuses in North and South America, as well as Europe. We offer full stack data science, cybersecurity, and applied AI. And we help people to launch new careers. You don't need any prior experience to take our programs, and we take you from 0 to 100 pretty quickly. So welcome to your course. This is the Applied AI course with Miami-Dade College. Our start date is today, which is February 4th, and your estimated end date is March 11th. Charlie is your lead instructor. He's been with 4Geeks. I'm not sure. How long have you been with 4Geeks, Charlie?
Like 2 years.
Okay, he is really smart. I go to Charlie a lot when I need help with things related to artificial intelligence. He's done some events for me. He's a really cool guy. So you guys have a pretty cool instructor. Some more of the 4Geeks team that you may have already spoken to or maybe will be speaking to. We have Daniel, who is the pre-work advisor. Kind of ironically, Applied AI is the only course that does not have pre-work associated into it, which is kind of like some readings and some projects to do leading up to the first day of class. But for this course, you don't have pre-work, so maybe you didn't talk to Daniel, but he likely was the one who sent you any emails, like here's what you need to know kind of emails, access to 4geeks.com and things like that, which are taken care of before the first day of class. Then you have me, who's the campus manager. Kind of these two are in a line, which are our two co-founders, Marcelo and Alejandro. Marcelo, his background is originally in law and then also in business management and software engineering. So he takes care of more of the kind of business side of things or operational side of things, like student services, admissions, finance, where Alejandro, his background is software engineering. So he has been coding for, I think, like 16 or 20 years now, like a very long time. He built all of our syllabuses. He works very closely with Charlie. They talk to each other on a daily basis. The two of them, made this syllabus for the class that you are taking right now. So he is kind of like that coding mastermind behind the academy. Tomas is also a software engineer. He works closely on the syllabuses and making sure that everything's working. And Laura is the program manager. So she's in charge of students, making sure that you're happy. If you have any problems, of course, you can direct them to her, to me, to your teacher. But she would play a big role in helping to resolve any issues, making sure that everything is understood, and just, making sure that students are served and have a good day-to-day type of flow in the program. We use Slack as our main channel of communication. So Slack is an app that's similar to Discord. If you've ever used Discord, it works in what is called channels, which is basically a large group chat. Some of the channels are smaller and private. So an example of a private channel that you are part of is MDC Applied AI 1. This is things that are specific to your program. So it is a group chat or a channel only for your class. It has all of your classmates, your instructor, and the staff members that you saw on the previous page, where we will talk about class announcements, the link to join class, homework, general class conversation. So your teacher might say like, hey guys, remember to turn in such and such assignment today. Or if you have a question that's directed specifically towards your class, this is the place to post it. Some other channels that you might be interested in would be the USA channel. This talks about anything pertaining to our USA campus. So things like events, campus announcements. 4Geeks often hosts online events that you guys are welcome to join. So we often have like career-oriented events where we do like how to build your resume or networking opportunities or things like this. So those types of events are posted in the USA channel. You might also find there, for example, just a random example, about a week and a half ago, we had like a reel contest. So we wanted you guys to make a reel of like record a day in the life, for example, or like recording yourself at a computer. And we had a contest where whoever submitted the best reel or whoever had the most engagement got like a discount on their tuition or something like that. So that's just a silly example, but these type of like things pertaining to our USA campus will also be posted in that channel. On the left side, this is an image of like how the Slack community is organized. So just as there's a USA channel, there's channels for other campuses, like for example, Spain or Latin America. You are welcome to read them, participate in them if you'd like. If you don't want to be in them, you can always leave them or you can silence them if they don't pertain to you. There's also channels like Career Growth or Hired, where we like showcase students that are landing jobs, or in Career Growth, we might give like tips of things that you can do to make yourself more marketable as a working professional. But basically, this is where we communicate. There's different places that you can check out. Slack does have a desktop app and a cell phone app. So if you can download them on both, that is how you can be sure that you're staying on top of the game and making sure that you're getting all the information that you need. You guys are also very lucky. If you're taking this class through Miami-Dade College, you live in or near Miami, I'm assuming. Miami is a huge tech hub. There is a lot of opportunity to get involved in the things that are going on. Two of the main tech kind of like organizations here in South Florida are called Refresh Miami and South Florida Tech Hub. They both have community calendars on their websites where they showcase events that are going on in South Florida. This photo here is from a Welcome to Miami Tech happy hour that happens every other Wednesday at Freehold in Wynwood. This is a very kind of like, I guess, happy hour style event where there's an open, well, sometimes it's an open bar, sometimes it's a paid bar. It depends if there's somebody sponsoring the event that night. But it's like grab a drink, talk to people who work in tech. You will meet project managers, CEOs, founders, investors, people who are hiring, people who are looking for work, a ton of people in the tech community getting together. Not every event is so like kind of like party style like this. There's also lunch and learns, there's workshops, there's things like eMerge. There's an event actually tomorrow through the Miami Tech Talent Coalition where one of our students is presenting. Just a ton of stuff going on. So those two are definitely great resources. They have newsletters that you can subscribe to stay involved. They have events that you can go to. They have community calendars where they showcase other events. Like, for example, this event here isn't hosted by Refresh Miami or South Florida Tech Hub, but they tell you that it's happening on their community event calendars. Also in Slack, we try to post the most important events. So if 4Geeks is hosting any type of event or career workshop, or if one of our partners is, we want to highlight that. We do try to post this in the USA channel. So that's why we have Slack here on the list, because you can also pay attention to Slack to know what's going on. A quick checklist to make sure that you will succeed in this course. Try to work every day for at least 1 hour. The brain learns the best when it does a little bit of the same thing each day and repeats that same thing, as opposed to trying to work 7 or 8 hours one day on a Saturday and then not looking at this information for a week until the next Saturday and trying to do the same thing. It sounds kind of silly when you say it out loud because it seems kind of logical, but you will retain the information better and you will succeed in this course more if you just try to do a little bit each day, 1 hour each day, instead of, you know, taking 4 or 5 days off and then trying to have like a huge cram session. Number 2, ask questions. These next 2 bullets actually kind of like intertwine very well. There is something in the tech industry called imposter syndrome, which is where You think that everybody else gets it, but you don't. You think that the problem is you. Everybody's not asking questions because they understand. So I'm not going to ask any questions because I don't want to look dumb. But in reality, everybody in the class is thinking the same thing, and everybody sits there with the question in their head and no one says anything. So that's what's called imposter syndrome. You think you're an imposter. You think you shouldn't be here. But everybody's experiencing the same thing and nobody's talking up when really everybody has the same question. So it's hard to beat that thing. If you find yourself experiencing imposter syndrome, please let me know, let Laura know, let your teacher know. We have a lot of resources to help you overcome that. But try not to be afraid to ask questions. This is new to everybody. And if you have a question, I can bet you somebody else in the class is thinking the same question. So maybe help them overcome their imposter syndrome by asking the question and letting them see they're not the only one who's thinking that. Lastly, try to keep your camera on. It improves the mood of the class and the quality of your teacher's performance. So we like this to be a really happy, fun, and light environment. We want to see you smiling. We want to see your cat jump up on your computer or your dog coming for a little pet. Of course, if you need to, shut it off because you need to go to the bathroom or something like that, nobody's going to be like, hey, where are you? But, try to, we want you guys to be friends. We want you guys to enjoy the class. It's a very nice and chill environment. So don't feel like we're evaluating you. We like to keep your camera on so we can be in a good mood and help that actually helps your teacher to perform better too, because when they feel good, they perform better. And then lastly, attending all classes is crucial. Really try not to miss more than 2 classes throughout the program. You guys don't have a ton of classes. We know you guys are adults. We are humans. Things happen. Sometimes you don't feel good. Maybe on Friday night, you have a plan that you don't want to tell us about. Maybe you have children. So, it's adult education here. It's not like college where you're going to fail if you miss more than 2 classes. But from what we've seen in the past, if you miss more than 2, it's very easy to fall behind and hard to catch up. So if you need to save those 2 absences in your pocket and use it for Valentine's Day, which I think is next Friday, right? Or if you have a child emergency or you don't feel well, but try your best to make it to every single class to make sure that you succeed in the program. And that is basically what I wanted to go over. Are there any questions that I can answer for you guys before I pass it over to your instructor?
Hi, one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening. The classes are going to be recorded, right?
Correct, yes.
So if we miss a class, we can catch up with a recorded class, right?
Yes, exactly. So if you do miss a class, try to watch the recording before the next class so that you're on track again when you come back. And at the same time, making sure that any assignment that you missed that might have been due that class is submitted before the next class, so that even though you missed, you're still in the spot that you need to be when you come to the next one.
Excellent. Thank you, Alisa.
You're very welcome.
Manito,
Thank you.
iba a pedir el sándwich, pero no sé cómo se llama el que tú me hiciste una vez. That had like honey and shit.
Was that a
You remember?
question?
I don't know if it was like a turkey club with honey or
I think maybe.
it might have been the
muted.
chickens with honey, algo así.
Okay, I was able to mute it. My Spanish isn't great, but okay. Is there any other questions? Okay, perfect. Well, thank you guys very much for your time. I am in Slack, of course, as well. My name in Slack, Alyssa Landra, just like you see here. You can search it. If you need anything, you can message me. You also have Laura, who's your program manager. We are here to support you and help you. So I wish you guys the best of luck. I'm going to pass it over to your teacher. I'm going to head out, but please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. Have a very good night, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Okay, hello. Let me first set up my camera. Oh, okay. Espero que se vea. Okay. It is better. Hello, my name is Charlie. I'm going to be your instructor during this course. First, let me tell you that my native language is Spanish. So if I made a mistake speaking about something, don't feel shy to ask me to repeat. I can repeat many times anything that I'm talking about. and more because we were talking about a lot of different topics. For example, AI has many involved terms that we need to learn to understand what we are doing with AI. What is exactly an AI model? What kind of things we can make with AI? This course will be about using AI and understanding how to use AI. For example, we're gonna use about two or three, maybe eight tools in some part of the course. At the starting point, we're gonna delve interesting ability that we need to master if we're gonna try to speak with an AI or interact with an AI, and that is prompting. We're gonna learn how to write good prompts to an AI. How is the structure and the parts of a prompt? For example, what is a system prompt? What is just a context in a prompt? And understand how this can affect the AI responses. Because AI is a little simple and a little complicated at the same time. We have different models there is a term we're gonna discuss today also. But before starting to explain things, I want to know you more. I want to pass the microphone to each of one, if you do, and you're gonna talk a little about your background in technology. What do you know about AI in this point of your life? How do you plan to use AI so I can make a better plan? Maybe incluso even adapt a little the plan to one of related to the maybe what everyone wants to make with AI. So, who wants to start? If no one wants to start, maybe I can choose someone using AI also. Any anybody?
I'll start.
I can start.
Okay, perfect.
I
Tell me about you.
uh,
Tell me first how to pronounce well your name because I don't want to make mistakes.
Shamaya.
Shemaya. Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, middle school teacher.
Okay.
I wanted to use AI. Well, I use like Mid Journey, Chat GPT now just for like things that work with my business and um in general, basic stuff to help me with stuff. Also help them with my kids. I have college kids also, so I help them with Chat GPT with certain work things they have to do. Um, I'm learning to try to code also, so that's another thing where I'm interested into this program, and that's it.
Okay, perfect. So you have to use ChatGPT, Midjourney, and maybe some popular tools in AI. Everyone has tried ChatGPT at least one time in their life nowadays.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Who gonna be the next one?
I can go ahead and follow. My name is Sil. I'm a nurse at a local hospital, and getting in this to go ahead and use AI and go into like either analytics or something in healthcare with artificial intelligence.
Okay, you maybe plan to work with documents or maybe big amounts of information.
Yes.
Okay, understand. Analyze with AI. It's an interesting and objective focus. Okay, perfect. Who wants to be the next one?
Hello. Hi, hello. I am Christian.
Hello.
I am computer engineer and I am working with Learn Swift for develop uh, iPhone application. And when I have a question about the code, I is really practice for me and use ChatGPT for ask how did work this line, and ChatGPT explain all code.
So you are an engineer and you want maybe to use AI to be more productive in your job, something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay, I understand. Have you ever tried Cursor in this moment? Okay. Okay.
No,
Who's the next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Boris. Hi, everybody. I'm also a teacher. I teach high school. I teach government and economics. I use ChatGPT all the time. Well, not recently, but a few months back, we wanted to make a debate just about the presidential election. And I used ChatGPT to help me design some of the worksheets and some of the rules that we could follow in the debate. Worked out really, really well. The administration actually really liked it. It just kind of saved me a lot of time. Um, I also use it when I'm making lesson plans. One of the things you have to include is our Florida standards, which is just the what we're supposed to be teaching the kids, but we have to look them up usually or find it online. But if I just tell ChatGPT, look, I'm teaching this. This is the section I'm teaching. Give me the Florida best standards for it. Boom, it gives it to me right there, and I'm good to go. It saves me so much time. One of my goals is I'd like to be able to create a one-on-one interactive type of GPT for people who are learning how to write, especially learning how to write an essay.
Do you want to like make an application, something like that?
Yeah, but I took one of the 4 Geeks classes and I learned something really the hard way. I'm not a good programmer. I
You want to
tried,
make an
man.
application without programming.
Yeah, if I could do it all chat GPT, well, we're on to something. So I don't know.
I
I've heard
ensure
of
you that you
teaching
can make an application using only AI. I use
it.
AI in my job every day, and I am also a software engineer. So
Uh-huh.
I always ask my AI to complete big parts of the code and maybe generate different files of an application and then just copy paste to the code editor, and that's all. And sometimes you can also use a code editor that autocompletes you and could be really time safe. So it's so useful. Okay, thanks. Who's the next?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
I
afternoon.
work for the city of Miami Beach. I'm in law enforcement. I would like to somehow bring AI into answering calls, at least non emergency calls, maybe creating whatever needs to be created. And in the city as well, most of our programs are iOS based. And I would like to know if maybe I can get a IA to convert it so it can be used in iOS and Android as well, where just like with most apps can be used with either iOS or Android. For some reason, the IT in the city of Miami Beach doesn't know how to do that, and I just want to learn more.
You want to use more AI in your ecosystem, maybe.
Yes, yes, to make the job
Okay.
easier, faster, more efficient, maybe even nicer, no matter how, because sometimes we have people calling us that are a bit irate, and AI won't really get mad or won't really care how they're being treated like a regular human would be when they're being called. So maybe that could be beneficial.
We can beneficial a lot from AI. I think AI is gonna change the entire world. It is already changing the world. Nowadays, everyone is speaking about AI. If you see in the past, maybe like 5 years ago, AI was being a relevant term since more than 50 years ago. But even 5 years ago, AI was a term that some people think about AI or know about AI, and the rest of the people that doesn't know anything about AI. And nowadays, everyone wants to learn AI, and everyone uses an AI in its day and have plans or ideas to integrate it more because we can continue growing this AI ecosystem. For example, to interact with vehicles in the future. Maybe we don't want that, but could be interesting. Why not? If you can use your language to make an order to a computer, that is so useful. The next step in the AI development, I think it is just speaking with your phone or your computer, and this is in real time making your work. For example, with tools like Operator in ChatGPT and many other tools that will come in the future. Okay, you're the next, right, Eric?
Yeah, My name is Eric. This is my second class as well with 4Geeks. I had taken the full stack development last year, and I got a job as a web developer at a construction company. So I'm just here, trying to refine my skills with AI because I overheard one of my managers the other day saying that, they're going to start replacing people with AI. So I don't want to be replaced. I'd rather work with AI than be replaced by AI. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, you want to understand more on of the okay, you need to understand first, this is not an AI development course. We don't wanna learn about development, but maybe the concepts and
No,
the things we're gonna do will be really helpful for you, maybe to know which apps to integrate in your apps or maybe which APIs to use. Could be really interesting for you.
yeah, I'm not looking to do anything like to make AI. I just want to work with AI. My boss is gonna start implementing AI stuff in my job, so I don't want
Mm.
to be like, I don't know how to do
He
this with
wants to
AI.
pay ChatGPT for you, for example, for two
He's
developers instead of 20 developers in the future, maybe.
he's actually creating his own AI system, and he's actually already like tried to put a camera right in front of me to try to videotape me and get my responses to certain things. And I'm like, no, like, dude, that's not. Don't use me. I want to work with the AI that you're building, but do not use me because I know that my job work is going to be amazing, and so your AI is going to be amazing. So I'd rather start working with AI with him than be replaced by the AI that he's making.
I understand. I understand. Okay, perfect. Anybody else? I think we are ready, right? Okay, let me see.
Can you
Okay.
can you hear me?
Hmm? Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my name is Sabrina. Apologies. Um,
Okay.
I have some programming experience, but it's real dated. It's been over like 15, 20 years since the last time I've done any programming. But the basic of for me joining this class would be to understand AI better, I guess you could say. Trying to take some courses, trying to incorporate this with my usage with analytics as well. So just understanding AI and probably seeing how I could better use it or incorporate it with data analytics.
Okay, perfect. That's a real interesting topic also. Now we are ready, right? Boris, Christian, Eric. Hmm. Raúl, ¿estás por ahí?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm an accountant, and I know there's a lot of talk about automation and AI in the accounting world, so I'm just here to learn more about it.
Okay, perfect. Automation. Okay, and Alfonso.
Hi, good evening.
Hi,
Um,
how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Um, well, the purpose of me taking this course is to see how I can apply AI in my business and actually not be left behind. The AI technology is as I see it, is kind of a compounding effect. The day that you don't learn about AI, you fall behind a week, and there's and so on, so on, so on. I think the technology is incredible. I use it. I use ChatGPT every single day. I ask ChatGPT basically for everything, and I'm really excited. I hear that we have a lot of people in the education system, which is going to make this even better, more interesting, great questions. So that's basically it.
What kind of business do you have?
Well, I am in the real estate business, and I also I am in the retail business.
So maybe you want to integrate a chatbot in your business so it can answer questions for you, frequently asked questions, maybe redirect the user and plan a meeting with the user in your calendar, stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe more about analyzing data.
Mm.
Since he's retail, the about selling sales patterns, buying patterns, what to
Mm.
buy, what not to buy, when to buy, quantities, which every season everything behaves differently. And since I have tons of data, I think the outcomes could be really really good for us.
Could be a thing of connecting all this data with an AI, customize it maybe to analyze this data in certain way and try to make an AI expert for you, something like that.
Yeah, correct. And also very important for the real estate uh, industry.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think we can begin. Everyone pass a few minutes and talk about their goals with AI, and I love it. I think we have a mixed team here. This is the second time I am giving this course, and the first course was it took its own road because I think the AI ecosystem is still growing and it depends everything about the final user. What do you need to do with AI? What do you exactly need to do with AI? Because maybe is there a tool there that exactly solves your problem? But okay, let's begin. Today we wanna talk about different AI concepts. Actually, I also make a few lessons that you can find in the dashboard. So I'm gonna present a little this time. Okay. Perfect. Now you see my screen. Okay. So you just need to open this dashboard. Maybe some of you already done this step of open the dashboard, go into the program and read the lessons, or you didn't do anything yet. Okay. You just need to log in your Fergie's account. Maybe I suppose that you have a Forgis account, and you just need to go here where it says the name of your cohort. That is Miami-Dade College Applied AI 1, start course, and then start reading and start doing the things you're gonna find there. This is like the roadmap we're gonna take during this course. And in this first class, we're gonna talk about different lessons here. What is exactly an AI? We can define an AI like a computer that is capable of doing one thing based in data. Basically, is something like that. Returning an output or taking a decision based in data. We have a lot of tons of different AIs. And any AI is related to solve one problem. For example, when we talk with ChatGPT, we're talking with a kind of AI that is called an LLM, a large language model. A large language model is an AI model and understand model like the computer trained to understand certain kind of data. A language model is a model that was trained in big amounts of data, of conversations, of text, basically. And for example, ChatGPT was trained in trillions and trillions of documents and essays and web pages content and maybe newspaper, a lot of things. And for example, it is the same for the rest of large language models. They are trained in a big amount of data and they understand how to work with this data. In the case of large language models, it has an input and output paradigm. It works like you add an input to the model, for example, ChatGPT or GPT-4o, that is the model behind ChatGPT, and you just pass an input, and the AI is in charge of completing that input, returning an output that matches the input that you are asking for. For example, you can ask an AI, please write an essay about how to invest my money in the real estate, and the AI can give you an entire essay about that. Maybe you can use AI to return a description of of an image, and then use that image to generate the image. For example, in another AI model, for example, a model like Midjourney that maybe some of you have used it in these days, or maybe Sora. Sora is of ChatGPT also, and you can generate high quality videos. All these different models have the same thing in similar. They use a prompt. A prompt is an interesting and important concept to understand in the first step, because we're going to use prompts in maybe all the tools that we're going to use. Well, maybe we will use also automation tools and they don't use prompts, but we can use a prompt to make this automation easier. Okay, a prompt is a piece of text used for an AI to complete, basically. If you pass a hello to an AI, it will maybe return a response that is a salutation. Maybe it will say, hello, how are you? What do you need today? Something like that. But if you pass an AI something like describe a scene of somebody being killed by anybody else, maybe the AI, depending of the rules related to the AI, can maybe give you an accurate response, or maybe can don't give you that response because it violates some rules. This is something interesting also in AI, the ethics of AI. How much AI do we really need in our lives? Maybe we are using too much or too little AI in our world nowadays. I think in the future, the AI usage will just increase and we will reach newer stages in the AI development. And maybe some people will be replaced by AI, maybe other people will not be replaced by AI. But the only thing that is real is that we want to use AI in our jobs, in anything that you are doing in these days. If you're a teacher, maybe you want to use AI to explain or modify or improve your lessons. If you are an analyst, maybe you want to use AI to pass a lot of context, a lot of documents, and analyze information from that documents. If you are a developer, you're going to use AI to make an application, and so on. We want to use AI in anything. Also, now we can integrate AIs in more complex systems, just interacting with it. For example, you can talk with an AI and ask the AI to generate by itself an image, a video, maybe an entire document, or maybe even write an entire application or start a business for you, just clicking in this page and opening an account for you, something like that. AI agents is the new paradigm in AI. Everyone's wants to make an AI agent. ChatGPT has now its own AI agent that is Operator. Operator is capable of exploring the web for you, clicking here, going back, maybe write something in an input field, stuff like that. And maybe it is the future. It is the future of the AI. AI gonna make the job for us, and we're gonna act like a copilot for AI, and AI will be our copilot. Will be like a team, basically, a team of a human and AI. The AI doing boring stuff, and human being the big brain, the having the ideas that the AI needs to implement. That is why a prompt is so important. To write a better prompt, you need to understand what kind of thing of response you want to to get in this prompt. If you want to get an explanation, if you want to get a summary, an analysis, or if you want to maybe use a document to generate more a new document, or maybe just as a new version, or expand the content of something. There are many usages of AI, and maybe each of you will find its own usage and perfect for your job, because I think it is a thing of using this and that to have this more bigger and complex task that maybe a single AI is not capable of answer by itself, but we can use a mixed subset of different AI models, a model to understand images, or a model to generate images, a model to write content, or maybe just an agent. Maybe it is better to talk about agents, because maybe we can just customize the response of an LLM to have more superpowers. For example, you can modify the character of an AI to always generate the content in a certain way that you can use to speak in things or click in parts of a web page. That is, for example, how you can make an operator of ChatGPT. At the last, an agent or an AI agent is just a subset of code above the AI model that is like the computer that is working and returning some outputs using everything, always that prompt, that starting prompt that desencadenates, that frees maybe the the possibilities that you can make with data. Okay, then you just need to read this and understand more about what is AI and what is the difference of AIs. For example, a term that maybe we can understand a little in AI is the concept of machine learning and natural language processing and computer vision. These are different components of AI. For example, machine learning is just the act or the profession of teaching, of developing an AI model based in a kind of data. Machine learning involves also the term of fine tuning. Fine tuning is modifying an AI that was previously pre-trained. For example, I don't know if you heard about DeepSeek in these days. DeepSeek was a model trained in China, and it was trained in big amount of data, and also using another AI as a teacher. They reproduce parts of or AI responses of bigger models to make smaller models. There is something called distillation, but also fine tuning. You can fine tune models using more data. For example, let me give you an example. Suppose you have ChatGPT and you want ChatGPT to understand more of your data. Then you can train ChatGPT or retrain ChatGPT, fine tune ChatGPT to have more context about your business, about your data, and produce better response to your task. And natural language processing is a field of AI. AI can be, for example, natural language processing that is working with language models, involves understanding text and returning text using, let me see if oh, okay, perfect. Sometimes uh, my iPhones turn off. Okay, perfect. Let's continue here. Oh, wait. Okay, natural language processing is just a field of AI that understands language and uses to produce better responses. And computer vision is another field of AI that uses images and processes images to understand, for example, which objects are in an image. For example, if an image is a cat or if an image is a dog, for example. Different kind of AIs. Okay, but how can we use AI in the real world? I see that many of you have used, for example, ChatGPT, maybe Midjourney, maybe a Copilot or some popular AIs. But we can actually use AI in almost every field, in the healthcare, in finance, retail. We can use AI in marketing. We can use AI in content creation. We can use AI generating music, for example. We can use AI to make shorts, well, create content. We can use AI in almost everything, and in the future, we're gonna use AI in more things. Maybe we're gonna use an AI for everything. You want to go to a supermarket and buy some things. Maybe you're gonna find an AI that can, a robot that can just take just products and passes the products and that stuff. You don't need AI for that, actually. Okay. We're gonna hands-on and some practice here also. Let me pass you a link. Mhm. Here you're gonna find a practice in this part of the dashboard. You just need to press here where it says start exercise and opening cloud. And you're gonna just click here where it says create code space. And this will be a project or a practice where you're gonna use AI to generate responses, and basically you're gonna interact with an AI different from ChatGPT. This is not for today. This is for another moment. Maybe in the next class we can start to discuss how to make this. But just to let you know that you will need to make this, and you're gonna do it. Also, we're gonna just to tell you a little more about what we're gonna see in this course. We're gonna run AI models locally, because running AI models locally could be beneficial for your usage. For example, if you are working with sensitive data, maybe you don't want to use ChatGPT, or you don't want to use a bigger enterprise that is maybe using your data to train more AI models. So that is why using open source and local models would be interesting for some of you. You can use it, or maybe you can just try it to understand and compare the difference of using an interface like ChatGPT, for example, or using a local model like DeepSeek, for example. The responses vary depending on the model, and maybe your perfect model is not ChatGPT. Maybe your perfect model is Claude of Anthropic, or maybe Grok of XAI. Who knows? Almost all big large language models works similar. If you ask a task or to Claude or to ChatGPT, maybe it won't vary a lot. Maybe it can be a little different, but not too different to know which model is just reading the response of an AI. Okay, perfect. And maybe I would like to ask you some questions about AI to know how you are understanding this first class. For example, let me think. Alfonso, give me a prompt that you usually use with ChatGPT.
Well, it depends on what I'm looking for, because I use dozens of different prompts for different questions that I have to ask to ChatGPT. Something in particular?
Yes, something in particular. Just an example of prompt.
Okay, let's Let me see if I can actually.
A prompt that gives you a good response, for example.
Okay, let me see if I can actually find one that I used today that I can actually share with the class. Okay, well, one of the questions that is related to this class was, does Apple have a feature like ChatGPT that could be more secure than ChatGPT, maybe a native MLM and LLM, I'm sorry.
Okay,
And
perfect.
the answer was that Apple does not currently have a ChatGPT equivalent to an AI chatbot built into its ecosystem. However, Apple places a strong emphasis on privacy and security, and they have some AI-driven features. That was actually what I was looking for.
Exactly. You just want a faster response. Do they have something like ChatGPT? Yes or not? Explain me why. Something like that, right?
Yeah, no, I just want to use something more secure because there are some sensitive documents that I would like to upload, and I will never upload it to ChatGPT. So, like you said, that the sensitive data it should be uploaded in a local system instead of an open system like ChatGPT itself.
We're gonna run local models and they can run in a Mac, for example. So if you are more comfortable working with an Apple ecosystem, you can do it running a local AI model. So it will be interesting for you and some of you also.
That would be great. Thank you.
Perfect. Actually, who wants to know how to run an AI model locally? Because it can take less than 10 minutes, for example. If we have one, do you want to know, Alfonso? Maybe we can turn this class and explain this from this point, and we can continue using local AIs in the next classes for the prompting practices, for example, and we can make a prompt practice using local AI models. It will be interesting to compare how ChatGPT answers in comparison with a local AI model. So I need you to, so one of you need to make this exercise. Who wants to make this exercise? You can raise your hand or I can choose you just randomly using AI. I usually make this in this class. I'll try it. Boris, okay, perfect. Shemaya, you want also?
No, what you said, a local AI? What is a local AI?
Okay, what is a local AI? That is a good question. Let me first talk about local versus cloud AI. What is the difference when you use a local AI model or a cloud AI model? What is a cloud and what is a local AI model? A cloud AI model is a model that runs in a computer hosted by another company. For example, OpenAI. OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT, and OpenAI have access to the conversations that you share with ChatGPT. When you are speaking with ChatGPT, the data that you are sharing with ChatGPT is also passing in the for the OpenAI computers. So there is a cloud AI, AI remotely hosted by a company. But a local AI is the same, hosted in a computer, but in our computers. We can use local AI, for example, in your laptop. You can run an AI model in your laptop. You don't need a bigger or super powerful setup to run local AI models. But the truth needs to be said. If you want to run more complex and more powerful local AI models, you need more hardware, more computing power, because the bigger AI models takes more memory and takes more computing of your system. It makes the fan of your laptop being crazy. It sounds like zzz, depending of the hardware that you have. So that is a local AI, an AI that runs in our laptop or in our smartphone in the future, because currently the models that you can run in a smartphone are still so weak to run. But in the future, they are making improvements to run these models easier. Siri could be a local. Siri, if you need internet connection to use Siri, not. I don't have an iPhone. I didn't have tried if you can use Siri without internet connection. But if you can use Siri without internet connection, it is actually a local AI because it is running in your iPhone. It is running in your system. But if you need internet connection, it means that it needs to connect to a remote server and run your query, read your message, or ask your voice to understand what you need to do. So the question is, try to turn your mode to your phone in airplane mode and try to use Siri. If it works, it is local AI. If it doesn't work, it is not a local AI. Could be interesting to make it. I didn't have tried it. Okay, so who wants to share its screen, and maybe we can try to run a local AI models for this first class. It will be interesting for the next class. After that, practicing more in local and understand, for example, how to pass documents to this local AI. Because it is interesting also a fact that, for example, if you use OpenAI API, what is an API first, right? An API or application programming interface is like an application that runs in somebody's computer and can, for example, process things. In the case of ChatGPT, you can use ChatGPT on the web interface, or you can use the AI model behind ChatGPT using its API key. Different AI tools, and even if you work locally, there are some tools that lets you add an OpenAI API key. An API key is like an authentication token. It's like a code, a big code using to authenticate you with a platform and tell the computer, hey, I am me and I want to use your service. With that token, you can use, for example, ChatGPT, but locally. You can use the OpenAI API, but using your local computer as interface. In this way, you can also have more private conversations, because the conversations in the API are not necessarily stored in the system. And that's another interesting thing we're going to do in some part of this course. So, who wants to share its screen and install a local AI model? If you have a question, feel free to ask. I really like to answer questions. If anyone wants to share its screen, I'm gonna choose it randomly using AI. Let me just use your names. Okay. I don't know if OpenAI is working, because it works. It was bad. Eric Amador. Amador, ¿estás allí? Are you there?
That was not random, but okay.
Okay,
How do
perfect.
I?
Please share your screen, because what kind of system do you have? Mac or
I have a
Windows?
Mac.
Okay.
I have a Mac.
I
Yeah.
suppose many of you have a Mac.
Yes.
Okay.
me stop sharing my screen. Perfect. Okay, perfect. I see myself. So open your browser and or maybe first open the conversation in this Meet and click that link in the conversation. Perfect. Now click in the top right corner in download and select your operating system. It is already macOS. Wait until it downloads. Perfect. And now click exactly. Okay. I don't know if it's already installed. Okay, that is. Install. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Now you can open a command line in Mac. Let me ask my AI how to do it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Sorry.
Let me, I don't know also how to do it in Mac, so let me ask my AI how to open a command line in Mac. CMD more space.
C- CMD more space.
Mm-hmm. And now write terminal and click enter. Open it. Perfect. Now you're gonna run. Let me give you the prompt. You're gonna write Olama. Or let me pass you the prompt here in the messages. It is better. Perfect. I'm searching for the command. Okay, this one. This is the command. Olama run llama 3.3.2. Do you know what is llama?
Isn't that the name of the software?
Llama is the name of a model developed by Meta AI. Meta is the company behind Facebook. I don't know, many of you maybe have heard about Meta, but Meta develops this model Llama 3.2 and they make it open source. Like Llama is an open source model, you can run Llama locally without any problem and it will be completely private to your usage. Olama, in this case, with O at the first, is a computer software that runs in any operating system, well, Linux, Windows, and macOS, and it can run local AI models. So you can, for example, install Llama 3.2, that is the previous latest version of the Llama model of Meta AI, or maybe you can run DeepSeek. DeepSeek was a real hit in these days, and you can also run DeepSeek locally. So you just need to install an AI model locally and use Llama to run it. Okay, wait a second.
So this
Okay.
this
Mhm.
command line prompt you gave him, that works also on Office products as well?
Yes, you can use it also in Windows, and the process is actually similar. You just need to go to Olama, download it for your operating system, install it, following the interface that it raises in your operating system. If you have Linux, maybe you can also run a command, and that's all. And then when Olama is installed in your operating system, you can open a command line. A command line is a program that is in all the computers, no matter if it's an AI, a Linux, a macOS, or a Windows computer. All the operating systems have a command line. The command line interface. An interface is the way that you use to interact with an AI. It could be, for example, a web interface. A web interface like ChatGPT, or could be a command line interface, or like that is the interface we are using in this moment with Olama. But we can also use this model in a web interface that runs locally with our data, with our models, and we're gonna do it also in the next step. Okay, try to send a message with to Llama. For example, to say, "Hello, what do you know about what you do in your job?" For example.
I know about Miami building codes,
Okay,
Miami plumbing codes. I'm
okay,
currently working on a plumbing project.
okay. What do you think about that response? It is correct or it is not correct?
It is correct, but it is too broad. It's not going into exactly what I'm looking for exactly.
It's too general.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you can try a different prompt. You can make a more specific prompt. Try to be more specific on what do you want.
Per square foot building code. Actually, I have to put in city of Miami because Miami Dade is a completely different code.
Mm, okay.
And oh, there it is.
It's good.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let me tell you that this model is a really small model.
And actually, it's up to date because this with no greater than slope was added this year.
Interesting. That is interesting. Okay, that tells you or tell us about the training data that Meta used to train this Llama 3.2 model. Maybe it can make also mistakes. AI can have hallucinations. There is a common mistake when we use AI models, even if they are local or if they are cloud AI models. They sometimes made mistakes and invent data that doesn't exist. For example, a city that doesn't exist, or a country that has a language that it is not correct, stuff like that. It is capable of having hallucinations with a lot of things. That is because, and that is important because we need to judge the AI response. We need to judge if the AI response is correct or is not correct in our terms of expertise. For example, if you're learning something new, I would recommend you to ask first the AI about that topic, and then investigate by yourself that topic, and maybe read a Wikipedia article on the same topic, and in that way you can explore different points of view, and understand in more detail a topic. And then if you have another question, you can then ask the AI again, and have an iterative process to reach your goals. Perfect. Now we're gonna try to use a more ChatGPT-like interface to interact with these AIs. Let me ask you a question. Please raise the hand if you already installed Olama in your computer. Okay, Boris. Okay, perfect. Just Boris. No problem. You can install it later, no problem. And now you can upload files in Olama. Somebody asked a question. I didn't see it. And the answer is no, but yes, because we can use Olama to understand these documents using a different interface. That is what we're gonna tell now. In a part of Olama, we need a way to interact with the AI different from the command line, because the command line is cool for developers or maybe a geek enthusiast of technology enthusiast, but the command line is not too useful for real world tasks where we need to copy paste things, we need to pass documents, speak or use a lot of things. That is why we want to install something else. Boris, do you want the hand of the installation? You can already remove your hand. Perfect. Okay, and now we please go to another browser tab. Perfect. And write Open Web UI. Perfect. Click that in the first recommendation and get Open Web UI there. Perfect. Okay, first we need something else in our computers because Open Web UI runs with another technology that needs to be in our computers to, or let me you can install also another tool, but in this case, we're going to use Open Web UI, but we need to install something first. Please search something in another tab and search for Docker. Docker with K after the C. Perfect. And click there. Perfect. And download Docker Desktop. And download for map. Perfect. You can skip also this phase. Perfect. Now you have Docker up and running in your system. Docker is a tool, an application that lets us run containers in our computer. A container is an entire application encapsulated in, imagine there is a box with a lot of tools inside. So instead of installing all the tools manually, you just need to run a container, copy an image, and run with Docker. So you just need to automate a file, and Docker can make the stuff to distribute your application in different platforms. Perfect. Now we need to open another, again, the command line. Mm, exactly. Perfect. And right exit. I think is exit. Just and press and oh no, it's not exit. How to close? Just press CMD more C. Hmm.
Nothing's happening.
Or CMD more D.
CMD more. No.
Or just close this terminal. Close this terminal and start again. Open the terminal again. Yes, terminate. Perfect. Perfect. Now I'm gonna pass you another command in the messages of the meeting. Perfect. This is the command. Hello? Wait until it downloads. I'm gonna share with you all these steps in the Slack channel for us, in the Slack group, the command of Docker and also the command of Olama to download, for example, Llama 3.2. Perfect. Okay, it is ready. Okay, now you just need to close this command line. Perfect, and go to Docker. And now see that Open Web UI is running. See here in Docker that you have a section in this table called ports. Click that link in ports. Right? At the right?
The right?
below where it says that Open Web UI is running.
Open Web UI
Okay, there in the left.
in the left.
Ports there. Click
Oh,
there. Perfect. Perfect. And click get started. Get started. Write a name, write an email. Write a super secure password that you can remember. Perfect. And now just click let's go. And now see that in the top left corner, you have a name that it says Llama 3.2. That model, click there and see that that model is running locally in your system. It says also the how big is that model, and you can use it already. So you can, for example, write something to Llama and say something to Llama.
oh.
Maybe it doesn't have information because it is a small model. So see, this interface, you can also add more things. You can, for example, click the link, the button at the top, at the bottom left corner with a plus symbol. Okay, click there and see that it says upload files. You can, for example, upload a file hosted in your computer directly to the chat, so the AI can use it to understand your context or your documents better. If you want, you can try it now. For example, upload a file. Maybe you don't know if you have a file that you want the AI to analyze, for example.
No, I don't have any files on my
No
computer.
problem. No problem. You can try this feature after also. Let's explore a little more this interface. Explore the top right corner, and you have a configuration icon and that control icon. That click here and see that we have now more things to customize to this AI. In this case, we can write system prompts. As a prompt, like we discussed before, is like an instruction for an AI, but a system prompt is a special prompt. It explains the AI how it's supposed to speak to answer your queries. For example, in ChatGPT, you can just interact with ChatGPT plugins and also interact with the interface of ChatGPT and just speak with it and talk about anything. But you can really customize the system prompt of ChatGPT, so you will have always similar responses because it has the same system prompt. But if we change the system prompt, the interaction with the AI will be significantly different. For example, if you want an AI teacher in some language or do you want to understand a new skill, maybe you can consider write a good system prompt to your AI teacher. So your conversations will be directly about that topic. I recommend that it's better having a mixed set of AI experts in different topics rather than trying to have everything in a single one. But it depends of how someone uses AI. Try to change the system prompt in that control. And for example, try to instruct the AI in another topic. In the controls, just scroll up a little. Perfect. And there, where it says system prompts, write, for example, act as a cat and answer all my messages. Act of acting and answer all my messages, or respond, or however you want to write it. Like want, for example. And just open a new conversation, for example, with this model in the top left corner.
Here.
More in the left, in the sidebar there, you can press where it says new chat there, and speak with it. Hello, for example. And that's all. It is not a cat. See, if the system prompt is set up in the controls. It is empty, so it depends of the conversation. Just go to the first conversation and okay. It was not saved.
But there's no like button to say like save. I even pressed
Mhm.
enter after I did this, thinking that it would save it because there's no button.
Exactly. Right again, right? Just act like the cat, and that's all. Perfect. And close that system prompt. Open again. Okay, it is saved. Tell something. It is trying to act like a cat. Perfect. Okay, it was just an illustration of how you can, in the first step, customize an AI response. It would be a good practice if you customize the AI responses to reach a certain goal, to complete a certain task. If you want to code or to analyze a market tendencies or information, you can maybe try to change the system prompt of the AI and try to be like the expert that you are looking for. In the future, or maybe we can see it in this time, we're going to learn how to make our customized AI agent based on our rules and our documents and our models. And we want to learn how to use the ChatGPT models in this interface. So you can use that models locally in this interface also. Perfect. Now, let me search something here. Wait a second. Let me authenticate.
Is your camera on? Your camera on? Can they see you? Okay.
Wait a second. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna pass you a code in the meeting chat. Please copy that code. Okay, open Web UI.
Saved. No.
You need to open it in the browser.
Um.
I think it is already opened or not. Right? Okay. No, you need to write really a port in your computer. Let me delete that text in the search bar and write localhost 3000. Yes, click that link. Perfect. Localhost 3000. It is running in your local system and a user the port 3000 of your computer. That is why you can use it in your browser, in any browser installed in your system, in the localhost 3000. Perfect. Now, click where it says Eric Amador in the in the bottom left corner and click admin panel. Perfect. Okay. And click where it says settings. Perfect. And now click where it says connections. In the left sidebar, in the second left sidebar. And there we find an OpenAI connection. This connection with OpenAI lets us use the OpenAI models, for example, ChatGPT, for example, GPT-4o, 1, for example, if you have enough tier membership, and just click copy paste the code I already passed you in the messages here where it says API key in the input of the left that input. Perfect. And just click in any other place.
Do I click the save?
See? Yeah. Perfect. Okay, I think it is already connected. Just go to a new chat and in the top left corner, click that Llama 3.2 button. Perfect. And now see what happens. Now we have a bunch of different models. These models are the OpenAI models that we can also use. In this case, I'm passing you a code that is related to my organization in OpenAI, and you can use that token to interact with the OpenAI API using OpenWebUI. To obtain a code like this one, you just need to open an account if you want in the future in OpenAI platform. OpenAI platform is a little different from ChatGPT because ChatGPT is a service for final users, but the platform is for organizations that wants to use OpenAI services. In this case, we can use that platform to interact with the OpenAI models like O1, GPT-4o Audio, O3 Mini. For example, try to speak with O3 Mini and see what happens.
Which this one?
O3 Mini.
O3 Mini.
And open a new chat or in this chat if you want. Oh, maybe it will act like a cat. I don't know.
I changed it. I changed it to like act like Spider-Man. Yeah.
Okay.
um.
Let's see what happens. Maybe you can try to ask the first question about Miami also to see the difference from O3 Mini. It could be interesting to compare the performance of that local model with the O3 Mini, one of the latest OpenAI models. It takes more time in this case because O3 Mini is a more heavier model, but it is a reasoning model also. Hey there, citizen, Spider-Man here. Okay, my mind was confessed. Its answer is correct or not?
It has more information about the air, about the thing, but I could have been more specific about, because that area is just a broad term. I could have been like specific, like neighborhood or
Hmm.
surface area. It didn't really know what area
Exactly.
meant, so
But
it
the
did.
answer is so different compared to the previous model.
Yeah, it has more information that the previous model didn't, because the previous model said that there's nothing
Mhm.
there.
Exactly. Exactly. Depending of your task, one model could be more useful or not. O3 Mini was the latest model developed by OpenAI. It is a reasoning model. Like we was discussing at the beginning of of the class, a language model is a model that processes text. It takes a text input and returns a text output. But in this new era of AI, we can have different kinds of large language model. We can have language models that just produces answers in a certain language, for example, or you can have reasoning models. The reasoning models are a new kind of architecture, but it is a approach using language model. In this approach, the AI takes a time to think in its response before giving you a final answer. So the AI can make mistakes by itself and find mistakes that we can find in our reasoning or in its reasoning. So it could lead to give you better responses that if you don't reason anything, basically. And I think this is a good approach. O3 Mini is a reasoning model. The series of O models in OpenAI. Maybe you can open the models card, the model selector again, please.
The what?
The model selector where you choose
Yeah.
the model to use. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And search, for example, O1. O1 Mini is another reasoning model. O1 Preview, O1 Preview, and different dates also. They have different training data and they were developed in different dates. And the latest one is depending of the number. If you want, for example, a GPT is a language model, let me say a common language model that just give you the faster answer that it can, depending of the computer and the accurate it thinks it is at the first time. But a reasoning model tries to think a little before give you a final answer. That is the difference from the series of GPT models or the O models. The GPT 3.5 Turbo model is another model, the GPT-4o model. There is a lot of models to explore. In this case, I would recommend you to use only some of that models. It is not necessary to use all that models. It's just necessary to use a bunch of these models. For example, the latest reasoning model, of course, O3 Mini. O3 Mini will be the the better option if you need to solve a complex logic problem where you need to analyze large amounts of data or you have a complex analysis task would be a better task for a reasoning model. If you need, for example, to translate something, it is not necessary to use a reasoning model. It is enough to use a GPT model like GPT-4o. For example, choose GPT-4o. GPT-4o, that one, that's perfect. Or the one without dates that points to the latest GPT-4o model. Perfect. GPT-4o was a model developed by OpenAI also. It is not a reasoning model. It is just a language model that produces answers directly. If you want, you can ask the same question to GPT-4o and compare its answer. I would recommend you to open a new conversation because it can see the previous messages of the other AIs, so it can maybe copy from O3 Mini. Perfect. How it compares with the previous AIs? It is better, worse, or what do you think?
It is better, in
It
my
is the
opinion.
better.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me think about something. I think if you want, for example, to solve one prompt questions, or maybe our tags like translate, or for example generate a document in a certain, or a markdown content in a certain format, a GPT model would be the best option. The GPT models are trained in a bunch amount of data, and they are not necessarily trained to think, but are trained to just answer questions and solve tasks. They are faster models and cheaper models than the reasoning models, and would be useful in the biggest part of the tasks. And if you have a complex problem that need careful analysis and need accurate responses, for example, in how to make a calculation, how to implement something that is difficult, it would be a best task for a reasoning model. So, in your opinion, um, well, let me make something new also, because I want to make this in this class. Like we are already using OpenWeb UI, why not add another interesting thing? Click where it says Eric Amador, a moment, please. And click where it says settings. Or no, workspace, better. Go left, go back and click workspace in the sidebar. At the top, no, in the sidebar, there. Perfect. And here we can add more models and more knowledge to our AI application. For example, if you click where it says knowledge, click on knowledge, please. In this knowledge, we can add documents. For example, if you click the plus symbol, you can add in this case, you need to create a knowledge base. For example, let me create a knowledge base called AI course, for example. And we can, for example, add all the documents of the AI course in this knowledge base. These are called like collections. A knowledge base is a collection of documents that you can integrate in your AIs to have access to these documents at the moment of the generation. There is another interesting concept. We already discussed the concept of prompt, but what is a prompt? A prompt is just a text passed to the AI to generate a response. But if these prompts has the right context, it could lead to generate more accurate responses. So in this case, for example, create a knowledge base with any name, for example, Miami something, Miami, and that's all, just a name. And here, understanding the area of Miami Tower. Mhm. Perfect. Create knowledge. And in this case, when we create a knowledge, we can add documents to this knowledge. In this case, also, let me click in models in the top navbar there. And now click in the plus icon again. Now you can create a new model. Basically, you can customize an AI and have it in the model selection. For example, if you want an AI to be a teacher, an expert in finance, for example, you can just create it here and add a name, add a description, add different tags, or in the bottom you can find section to add knowledge where it says knowledge, select knowledge. You can click here, for example, and select the collection that you already have. And in this way, the AI will receive all the documents you have in that collection when you are interacting with the AI. And how is this collection named in terms of AI? An AI term to define these collections, these documents, these pieces of web pages, these pasted text that we pass to the AI is context. Context is all the text that we can pass to the AI to understand a task better. Part of the context is part of the prompt. But the prompt is also part of the context because the prompt uses more pieces of text to explain a task carefully to an AI. Perfect. Also, when we create a model, we can have an AI specialized in one topic at the time. And this is useful when we want, for example, to generate always the same kind of response, or we want to master a certain topic. In this case, if you want, just add any name to this AI, just select a base model, start from the top and continue to the bottom, and we will just completing the steps. Select a model, select, for example, in this case, ChatGPT 4.0 latest. I think this is one of the best models. ChatGPT 4.0 latest. It is a little above there. GPT-4o could be, but below GPT-4o, there is another model called ChatGPT-4o latest. Select that model. That model is the same model used in the ChatGPT interface. So if you are, for example, you feel comfortable speaking with ChatGPT, you can try ChatGPT 4.0 latest in this interface, and it will feel exactly as ChatGPT because it's ChatGPT in this case. Description in this model, it is not necessary to add a description. Visibility, leave it in private. Model patterns, system prompt. System prompt, in this case, you can write, for example, you are a useful assistant in this case. This is the most typical prompt in AI. You are a useful assistant. An AI is a useful assistant when it can solve any kind of problem, and it is just friendly and speak with us in a certain way. Useful assistant is like the default system prompt for the AIs. Perfect. And now just go and click Save and Create. And add a model, maybe, I don't know, Fulano. Sounded perfect. Save and create. Now we have a model and that we can use in the chat interface. If you click new chat now, now you can select your Sandy model in the model selection. at the top corner. Well, you can interact with two models at a time. It would be interesting for many of you. In this case, you can select the Sandy model, for example. There is the Sandy model. And if you tell something to these different AIs, in this case, their answers will be almost similar because Sandy is just a useful assistant. It is not different. Try a last prompt. Just select one of that prompts. Help me study. Okay, send it. Perfect. Did you see that searching knowledge loading feature in the Sandy model?
Yeah.
Okay, Sandy was just looking for documents in your knowledge base. In this case, we don't have documents, but in the future, maybe we will have documents in our knowledge base, and Sandy will look for information in that knowledge base because before giving us an answer. In this case, the answer is almost identical because the models are not too different. Perfect. And you can stop sharing your screen. Thanks, Eric. Thanks for your time. And perfect. I hope that you can install Olama and OpenWebUI in your system so you can run local AI models. And it would be useful for many of you. And if you have it from the first class, then it will be easier for you the next classes to make things with local AIs or use this interface just to write prompts. We want to learn how to write better prompts and how to interact with different AIs. It is not the same a prompt to generate an image rather than a prompt to generate a video, for example. The prompt you're writing depends of the task you want to solve. Generally, speaking with an AI is as similar as speaking with a human. You just, if you need somebody to understand something new, you need to explain it carefully, and you need to maybe repeat things one more than a time, just to tell to people and make sure you are being well understood and anything you are talking about. And with an AI is something similar. In most of the cases, we can just directly write a question and that's enough. In other cases, maybe we will need to write more detailed prompts to reach a better response and solve the task that we are working on. Perfect. Do you have any questions at this moment? Maybe is there a concept that is not clear for you still? Yet? If you have a question, you can just raise your hand. Perfect. Okay. Now let's discuss more. Let me explain you how to open the practice of the prompt engineering course for beginner. But first, let's discuss some disadvantages of artificial intelligence before this class finishes. And there are a lot of disadvantages of artificial intelligence. For example, artificial intelligence is useful to solve general tasks, but sometimes we can find some biases in the responses of an AI. For example, in these days, when DeepSeek becomes popular, it becomes popular also memes or memes of ChatGPT, of DeepSeek and ChatGPT. And one interesting topic was, for example, speaking about something that passed in China in, I don't remember the date, but it was a terrible crime in a square, but the model didn't tell me about it. It tries to tell me, but then the system detects there is a topic that the company doesn't want to talk about, and it deletes its response immediately. And you can find some biases in ChatGPT or in Mistral, for example. That is another model in certain topics, depending of the data they were trained on. If you train a model in a lot of data with, for example, a um, political idea, then the AI will inherit that political idea and try to and will think that that is the reality. In fact, an AI doesn't think a lot. Even a reasoning model, it is not thinking. It is just generating. The correct way to call all these models, all these new models, um, image models, video models, um, 3D map models, or and any model that we want to develop in the future is a generative model. A generative model is an architecture that lets us produce new content based in a content of the training data. So if you train a model in a bunch of images of cars, it will be maybe an expert generating images of cars. These are so useful models, and the generative models are the main actors in this new AI transition. We are now working and changing our lives to a more AI first paradigm, because these generative models can solve bunch of our tasks. Some tasks before we needed to think a lot to solve a big problem. Now we can just, for example, write 5 different solutions with AI and use a piece of each of these solutions to compose and make ourselves the best solutions to our problem. Or we can, for example, save a bunch of time in investigation or in making documents or writing emails to a new customer, or maybe to a new student, or for example, correcting an exam. You can just have a list of right answers, an exam, and the AI can make sure of mark a question as correct or not, for example. So really, in reality, the usage of the AI is almost unlimited. It just depends of the layer above the AI, the tool that uses this AI model. It doesn't matter if you run a local AI model or a cloud AI model, or you want to use an OpenAI model or an XAI model or an Anthropic model. The only thing that really needs is that the model generates a good response, and that's all. If the model is a good generator, you can just change the prompt, change the context to get a better response. And that's all. We can understand these small concepts to understand more about AI. So let's continue understanding other disadvantages of AI to finish this class. Perfect. Okay, another problem with AI that we can also solve using local AIs is the lack of transparency. When we interact with a tool like ChatGPT, or we can use a generation tool to generate videos or generate anything, in most of the cases, we are accepting a terms of service that is basically a policy that lets the company use our interactions to train more AI models and improve their systems in the future. Basically, the model could be use it, our responses could be used to train more models. And sometimes we don't know what passes with our interactions or with our data. And for example, have you ever tried to ask ChatGPT about you and notice what is all the things that ChatGPT knows about you? It could be useful, it could be not useful, but it could be a little scary. The lack of transparency that we can have sometimes with our data. Also, which data was used to train that model, and how to understand an hallucination. When an AI generates a response, we can't trust that response at the first place. We must just read that response and figure it out if it is correct or not based in our knowledge and the information that you can find in other sources and accurate sources also, because in internet there is a bunch of bad sources of information too. And the model, when you train a model in bad sources of information, the model can also have misinformation in its responses. Another problem with the AI is the privacy and security, but this is related to the last problem. Another problem that we can maybe have in the future with AI, and that is important because I think the job displacement with AI will not be a problem if we prepare ourselves on how to use AIs. I think in the future, some jobs will be replaced, but other jobs will evolve to a more AI related schema. So the AI will be in charge of doing boring stuff, and maybe, I hope, maybe that we can, for example, decrease the number of hours that you need to work because because AI can take part of that hours and be productive for us. I think my camera, it is already, it is not sharing. Let me see. Mm, Okay, perfect. Okay, let me also share my screen to let you know what I'm reading. Perfect, job displacement. Okay, and another problem, I hope that the job displacement would not be a problem for humanity in the next years because AI models are still too are not too mature to replace humans. The AI in this stage is just a copilot. It can help you to solve some tasks, but you have to make some work. You need to make something, and you need to be the master of that AI. Perfect. Another problem with AI could be disinformation and manipulation if big companies or anything that is in charge of developing or training that model can add a malicious data in that model just to let you think in one way, for example. Also, another interesting problem that maybe we can have in the future is a dependence of technology. And we can, for example, I can live, I can have a resolution to my task if I don't ask to ChatGPT. What happens when ChatGPT fails? What happens when the ChatGPT API is not working? For example, if you search API status OpenAI and you click here, you'll find that sometimes the API is not working, but sometimes ChatGPT it is also not working. So sometimes you will have maybe slower responses, or maybe even the system is not working at all. And what happens if we depend too much of this AI? What happens if we stop learning new things? What happens if we stop reading because everything is in charge of the AI? Hey, read this document, make the analysis, and I forget it. Maybe we are losing pieces of information. I think this AI evolution is important for us to understand that we are more smart and we are more capable than any AI in this world, even if the AI have more knowledge than you. You have the ideas, you have the problems, and you have the solution. The AI can help you to craft that solution for you, but can't make the solution if you don't help the AI to do it. Also, another problem that we can have in the future with AI, the technological dependence is already happening. I'm pretty sure about it, but the autonomous weapons is another problem that in the future maybe we will have. But believe in me, the military industry is the industry that is one of the industries that is investing the most in AI development, because imagine just an AI that can understand, for example, a camera and shoot to a soldier, for example, stuff like that, or autonomous drones, for example, use it in war that can they are not tripulated or tripulated yeah, at the distance. But well, there is a problem for maybe the human security. But for example, imagine that in some place someone develops a robot with an artificial intelligence chip that can works local in that robot without any human intervention, and learn new things, and can learn, for example, to shoot to use a pistol, for example, would be something that could be dangerous, could be get out of control easily, because machines are not smart. Machines can be useful for a lot of human tasks, and that tasks couldn't be necessary good, could be bad. Also, an environmental impact and impact of mental health, uh, uh, thanks to this dependency, the usage of data centers and energy to run and train these AI models is increasing a lot. Fortunately, we are also working in more technologies to make this training faster and efficient. But I think in some point this wouldn't be a problem. I hope, but it is a problem right now. The dependence and is increasing the environmental impact of the AI. And also the famous AGI, an artificial intelligence more capable, more powerful than a humanity, that can develop by itself and can be completely autonomous, something like an Skynet of the movies. It would be interesting if we reach something like that. I think that we are so far on something like this, but some of these problems are a real security risk to our data or to our human beings. Perfect. And now I want to share with you a practice, and I want to teach you how to open this practice, so you can open it and read it and understand how to interact more in deep with different AIs. In this case, you can follow these instructions, or just click here where it says Start Exercise. Click where it says Open in the Cloud. Start from the beginning, and then click Create Works Code Space. You don't need to do it right now. I'm going to share the process with you so you don't have any doubts when doing this step. Perfect, it is already opened. Just wait a second. And in some place, another command line, that is this section below, will open with LearnPack. LearnPack is a tool of for geeks that lets you run interactive exercises in the computer. In this case, it has an old interface, but I'm gonna update the course so you can have the most up-to-date interface. Perfect. You can also interact with an AI tutor directly in this interface. So you can ask different questions related to the course, related to the practice, and the AI can be helpful to solve these problems. In this section, you can change the language also, Spanish or English. Click next and start just following the instructions here. He explains also what is artificial intelligence, what is a model, potential uses, what is a prompt, some kind of things that we were working on today. And also we have a section to add a secret key that we're gonna look in an application similar to the OpenAI API key that we used before, but in this case in another interface. You just need to follow the the the, the prompts, the instructions, and that's all. And in the next sections, you will be using here this interface to write prompts, just to write prompts, and the AI will be in charge of testing that prompt, if that prompt follows some rules or not. For example, you need to write prompts to write some histories and adding special context to this prompt so the AI can generate a better response and stuff like that. And the next sections are also practicing some different parts of prompts that could be useful for you to when you are writing prompts for a given tasks. And that's all. I just wanted to show you how to use this program. In this case, you just need to press run, and that's all. When you press run, the prompt will be in the section above. But in this case, it is not happening because we didn't add still an an API key in the previous step, but doesn't matter. It will be happening when you add the the API key. Perfect. I'm just gonna close this. You just need to open this from your dashboard, and you'll find here. You'll find it here. The button. You just need to press it and make that practice. I'm gonna add more practices for future sections. Also, I would like you to open this section of prompting. This will be the next section, but this section is interesting just to read about large language models, and there is a prompt guide here. How to write better prompts, how to write clearer prompts. We wanna read this guide also because it is interesting. Were talking about prompts all day, but we didn't really make still a prompting practice indeed. So when we are writing a prompt, something interesting for the prompt is like defined a first objective. The main goal of the prompt, or the main goal, the main response I want to get is something. And that something is important for the next steps. If you want, for example, write an article for your website, or write a marketing email, or write a script for a marketing video, you will have different prompts. What is the context? What specific information do you need to pass to the prompt? This is like some questions that you may ask when writing a prompt. What information do you need? If you're writing, for example, an email marketing, you need, for example, the name of the customer. You need, for example, the product that you are offering. You need, for example, names of services, links to websites, stuff like that. If you are writing a marketing script for a video, for example, then you need to pass information about the product, the platform that you want to use, maybe if it is a short video or it's a long video, that kind of stuff. Um, Also, it is interesting to add some words to the AI. For example, if you want a more creative answer, you can directly ask the AI, be creative, try to use different words instead or less frequently used words to have a text that is maybe that uses new words that you don't know, for example, to practice a new languages. So here, for example, there are some examples of good and bad prompts. And there is another guide here. Let me search this guide. This in the first README, there is an introduction about AI. There is a click that I would like you to click on it. There are more detailed lessons about different prompts. What is a prompt? What is a model? What is a prompt engineer? That is interesting. In the end of this course, I would be happy if you call yourself prompt engineers. At the last step, if we think in detail, a prompt engineer is just a person who knows how to write good prompts. And even if it appears something easy, it is not completely easy to write an effective prompts to solve a task, especially in technical environments. In technical environments, you will find the problem that sometimes the first answer that you want to to get similar or maybe an answer like something in particular, a detailed analysis. So you need to pass examples of that analysis to the AI. Or maybe you want to write a video with some structure, with already information about your characters of stuff or stuff like that. So a prompt engineer would be a person who knows not just how to write a good prompt, but what to pass, what context to pass to an AI to understand a task. I think that is the best definition of a prompt engineer. Somebody that knows how to interact with an AI and pass the right context to solve any task, basically. Also, there is all these click it, please, to read more in deep, more topics. And in this case, there is a prompt engineering guide that you can follow and to understand some examples of good and bad prompts. For example, in this case, it's an article about the coexistence of dogs and cats because I have a dog and a cat and I wanted to see it. And it is not a good prompt or not necessarily a good prompt because I am not giving information about what kind of article I want. If I am writing an article, it has a purpose. I want to write an article, for example, for my website or for my newspaper or just for a work in the college. In this context, the article, the final article will be different. Also, we want to use SEO keywords. We want to redirect the user to more links. There are a lot of questions that we can ask when we are writing an article. It is in Markdown format. It is HTML. It is plain text. Depending of what do you use to share an article with the world, for example, it could be even a piece of text or Markdown, that is a special format. Many of you maybe know what is Markdown, but Markdown is basically text, but with some format that can be useful to render this kind of content. Bigger letters, smaller letters, notes, for example, tables. you can make all of these things with Markdown. And the good stuff is that AIs can generate good Markdown files. We want to talk more about Markdown in the future because we want to use Markdown to generate documents. We can use tools even locally in our computers to generate documents from scratch using AI about any topic, and maybe include the logo of your company, or maybe add the photo of your profile. Who knows? Anything you want to make with a document, you can also do it with AI. And using Markdown is a good practice because AIs are so good writing Markdown content. Perfect. Read this guide just to understand a little more about prompt engineering. And um, also, then read this guide here about, well, no, this is in the future. This doesn't supposed to be here, I think, but it will be a step for the future. In the future, we wanna use also this first class, in this case of this applied AI course. I usually used to talk a lot because I just wanted to open your minds and think about the possibilities that we can reach with AI, and let you think about the different things that you can reach or modify your objectives related to this course. There will be some parts that will be more useful for some of you, and other lessons, other days will be more useful for other of yourselves. But it will be interesting to learn all these AI concepts and use all these AI tools to form and to create a better understanding of AI and prepare for the future. I think understanding AI is a critical ability of ourselves as humans, because in the future we're gonna be speaking with AI almost all days, and we need to be ready for that moment. We need to be ready for the moment when your company needs to integrate another AI tool, and who knows, you already tried that AI tool and you know how to use it, for example. Or maybe you can develop something special for your specific needs, because there are a lot of topics without being covering still with AI. And I hope you really enjoy this course. In this case, also, we're gonna talk after, or not today, it will be another day, about Zapier and Make and automation platforms. The automation platforms are one of the more interesting things that you can use in your life. You want to automate content posting. You can, for example, share a post in Instagram, and then share that video in YouTube automatically. In this case, Instagram already shares it in Facebook automatically. But you can, for example, use that video and notify the users using Gmail. So you can, for example, write a post in Instagram, and then search a direct email to your followers or stuff like that using Gmail. There is a lot of things that we can automate just using the tools that we already know. You like to work with Google Sheets, for example, to analyze data. So you can use Zapier. You can use Zapier and connect an style sheet, and every time you add another row to that style sheet, no, sorry, sheets, your just Google Sheets. Um, when you add a row to that sheet, for example, you can receive a notification and pass that sheet to the AI, so the AI can generate other three columns of that Google Sheet, and you can automate things like, for example, um, calculate stuff using Google Sheets and AI, for example. Just a small and easier and interesting automation that we can make. We will learn from scratch how to open a Zapier account, how to use it, how to make some subs, and you will feel free to to research more in deep of the tools that we use in this course. Also, there are gonna be another modules of a tools and content creation and documents, like I already mentioned before, the part where we're gonna automate with Zapier, learning languages with AI, building websites with AI, free, and also you can pay to host a website. So if you have a company and you don't have a website, after this course would be interesting, why not having your own website, and why not integrating your own chatbot in your website, just without coding, without needing to code anything. And the final project, you're gonna make a prompt book. The prompt book will be a document made of prompts and the tool you use with that prompt, for example, and also a generation of something. Could be, for example, a thesis in a thesis in one topic, some topic that you didn't know previously. Or everything in the final project will be generated with AI. So it is interesting because it doesn't require a lot of your job. It is a short course. It is 6 weeks, and we won't be experts in anything after this course. Well, maybe in prompting, maybe, but you will be use different AI applications. You're gonna explore different possibilities with AI, and you're gonna understand how to apply AI in your daily lives, and in your daily routines, for example. And that's all. I just wanted to start this first class with some information and explain you how will be this course, so you can make your plans and being ready for the next topics. Somebody is talking, I think. I think not. Okay, perfect. In this case, we're gonna finish this class soon, because it is not necessary to continue giving you a lot of information. And in the second class, we're gonna start with smaller topics. We're gonna cover just one or two topics at a time, one or two tools at a time, so we can understand step by step, because I know understanding AI in just 6 weeks could be a big objective, and you won't be experts, but you're gonna master some the abilities with AI that will be useful for you. So if you want to say something, so if any of you wants to say something, this is the time. You can raise your hand, you can just talk, and I'll be here for you. Any of you have any question about the course, about the outcome? Okay, if not, we can finish this class for today. I'm gonna stop recording, and then we can just say goodbye. And in the next class, be ready, because we will be doing some cool stuff with AI.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, you all, for take attention and be here and being patient with me. Okay, and the classes will be stored in YouTube in the group. I think Damian or maybe Laura, I'm not sure who, but someone will be passed a link to each of the classes. And that's all. You'll find all the information there. If you need a code, if you need an OpenAI key, for example, if you don't remember something, you can also use the channel to speak with me, or write directly with me and talk directly with me in Slack. And that's all. Also, I have a YouTube channel. Let me share with you my YouTube channel, so you continue learning about AI. In this case, my YouTube channel is in Spanish, but it has translation to English in the subtitles. In the future, I am planning to open an English channel, because it will be interesting for me to practice my English, because I think I still need a little of practice. Sometimes I don't know how to say things But I hope this class was understandable for you. If you think my English fails sometimes, you can just raise your hand, ask me for repeat, and I'll do it. And thanks. Thanks for you all, and that's all. I'm gonna talk with Laura to pass you the links of the first class.
Excellent. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Good night.
See you
Good
in
night.
class. Perfecto. Goodbye.